I'm Dungeon Daddy Rick, and I am going to be playing a more spooky game today, which is why everything's a little bit darker. It's intentional. Don't have to adjust your settings or anything. So I'm going to be playing a character of mine who previously died in a D&D campaign. He did come back to life. Spoilers. So we kind of already know that this isn't going to go necessarily the way that this game intends for it to, because the whole point of Ghostfi is for your character to sever the ties that they had to their life and basically find peace. That's not going to happen today, but I think it'll still be a fun little adventure. So, I'm gonna come over here and we're going to play this game a little bit. So, to describe my character, I am playing a Harengon fighter rogue named Umezumin Thistledown, who goes by Zoom. Zoom died while on an adventure in like a dungeon type setting. It was a little bit of a dungeon crawl. And he died fighting a zombie beholder. So it was a pretty traumatic death, all things said. So let's see. So to describe Zoom, he is a Harengon, so he's like a rabbit person. Pretty nondescript overall. He's a brown rabbit, wears a heavy breastplate because he is a fighter. Carries a longbow and a mace, so he's got those with him. Zoom died pretty dramatically. I think it's fair to say. And so where he finds himself now is in a grassy field. So he finds himself in a familiar looking setting. And when he died, like I said, he had, his armor and things like that on, and he no longer has those. He is a much younger Harengon. I don't know why it's being so difficult today on this. Let's see if we can get it to put that back up. That's bizarre. Anyway, I was going to try to show you guys the game itself. That way you can kind of read along, but that's okay. We'll just figure it out as we go. So, like I said, he does not have his armor or anything like that. He's much smaller than he was when he died. You might even say that he resembles his younger self. He is a very petite little guy. And it's a little bit off-putting to him, just going from being this adult to suddenly being in his younger form. It was a very sudden death, too. It wasn't like he was worn down over time. It was, the beholder pretty well one-shotted him, from what I remember. And it asks a little bit about the background life of your ghost. How he felt about his life. He was pretty happy overall. He had a nice bit of adventuring that he did, and really wasn't too upset about it. He did a lot of questionable things, but he feels pretty good about them. With his rogue background. He did what he had to do to make money and live a more comfortable life. And he was pretty good at it. So, how he felt about dying. I don't think that he's come to terms with it even remotely. I don't think he accepts that he is dead. I think it's more of confusion. He was fighting, he was with his party, and then suddenly he's not. Suddenly he's in his old home, or well, close to his old home. Hello, Kayla. Thanks for coming. I'm attempting to work through these technical issues that have decided to pop up. Everything was all set to go, and then it decided it didn't want to work quite properly. I know, right? Classic. It's not a stream if something doesn't go wrong. Or at least that's kind of how I've... No, it was messed up before you showed up, Kayla. No, it was as soon as I tried to do my screen share, it decided, no, we don't want to do that. So, let's see. There we go. Now it seems to work. See, good luck, Charm. You're helping me fix all the stuff. So, anyway, as I was saying, Zoom has recently died, and he's not quite come to terms with that. He's not accepting the fact that he is dead. He's just suddenly much younger in this grassy field, and nearby he finds a familiar... There's a door, like a little tunnel built into the side of a grassy knoll that he recognizes as his family's home where he grew up. And so, let's see. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Yeah, so this is the manifestation, which is a constructed space between the physical world and the afterlife. It sets the stage where ghosts can brood, which, he's not really much of a brooder, but we'll see. Yeah, so Kayla, you missed my introduction. Since you're here and you're asking, I will tell you again. Basically, Ghostfi is either a character who you've played previously who has died, or you can come up with a new character. Funnily enough, I did not realize this until I was looking over it again today. It uses the Caltrop core system, so thanks for teaching me about that with your playthrough. Yeah, so I learned a lot about that from the Potions and Potpourri podcast with their Her Odyssey actual play. Go check that out if you're watching this and just lurking. Yeah, so I'm playing Zoom, the character I played on the birthday bash that unfortunately you weren't able to be there for, but I think you caught a little bit of it. My Heron fighter rogue who died during that game. He came back. But yeah, let's see. So, yeah, this is a stage where ghosts can brood over what keeps them bound. Is it a construct of their wildest dreams or closest memories? Yeah, in this case, closest memories for sure. And a place that he definitely would never forget. He was very close with his family until, he went off to do his own thing and become I wouldn't say he was a famous adventurer, but just become an adventurer, go see the world. Let's see. But yeah, weirdly, growing up, he can remember being able to see for a very long ways. He's close to the ground. He's not that tall. He's a little guy, but you could still see very far. It's open, grassy plains for the most part, especially from like the top of the little hill that their house is built in. He could see quite a ways, but really he can't see very far. It seems like this is just a small area enclosed by fog. Let's see. At the start of the gameplay, describe the constructed space of your character's manifestation with as much detail as possible. Note the time of day and time of year. It seems like, it's probably either like a sunrise or sunset. It's a little hard to tell because they look a lot alike. the time of year, it's not too warm, not too cold. Kind of just like a in-between stage, much like where he is in between life and death currently. Let's see. The manifestation can shift as the game progresses. Yeah, all you need is a light jacket. That's right. Thanks, Kayla. Okay, so we're going to move on to our tethers. Once the manifestation is set, players will determine what tethers their ghost to the world. Each person will draw 3 to 5 cards representing their tethers, which I've already done. I've already kind of looked at just to make sure that I'm not going to be totally lost. I mean, this is my first time playing this. I've never played this game or any Caltrop core. So this is a new experience to me, so bear with me. But taking turns, which I'm the only one here, so not really taking turns. Each player will reveal one of their cards and begin working through the severing phase. Power cards offer unique encounters as you explore powerful tethers. So 4 kinds of tethers, which it's the 4 different suits. So let's go ahead and let's look at our first card. I've already looked at them, like I said, but I've got the Queen of Spades. So let's see. Spade is a personal item. And I'll roll down to what we've got somewhere. I just saw it. Reading results. No, that's not it. Maybe I imagined that. Okay, so once the tether is determined, begin discussing why this tether exists. Include locations, people involved, and why it has a core impact on your character. So once you determine how to sever the tether, construct and record a moment where this event plays out, and roll a 1d4 to determine success. Okay, yeah, it doesn't give you a whole lot more on that, which is fine. That just means that I've got more to... Here we go. Okay. So Queen is a personal weapon. And let's see. Oh, wait. No, that's on hearts. Sorry. On item tether, we've got... Okay, the Queen of Spades is something you crafted. So, I would say he probably crafted his bow. So he makes his way into the door of his home, and I mean, can't trust anybody but yourself sometimes to make good quality, right? So he makes his way into his family home. Odyssey style, yeah, absolutely. And on the kitchen table, he finds his bow, which, yeah, I mean, Odysseus Odyssey. The Odyssey is just the tale of the only guy who really makes it through, Odysseus, weirdly. So yeah, he finds his longbow, because this was a D&D character. It is a +1 longbow. I wouldn't say that he made it that +1. I think that he probably had a more skilled craftsperson to kind of like upgrade it more or less. But he made the initial bow, put a lot of work into it. That was like his impetus to go off and adventure, because his parents didn't really want him to go. They wanted him to stay at home, live kind of the agrarian, rural lifestyle that they live. And he wasn't about it. He wanted something more. He wanted adventure and excitement. He's clearly not a Jedi, because he does crave those things. So let's see. I would say, in order for him to move on, yeah, I want an adventure, Mom. You get it. You get it, Kayla. In order for him to move on, I feel like he would have to acknowledge that he would have to put down his bow, you know, because he died in battle with his friends. It would be pretty hard for him to put that down. So let's see. Let's roll our d4, and I got a 3. So 3 is a partial success, I believe. Let me see, where did that go? Yeah, partial success. Action is successful, but a complication is introduced. Yeah, I would say the complication would be that he died in battle. He went off to adventure, and it would be hard for him to say, well, I was in the middle of this fight, and I'm just gonna walk away from that. He's not really one to back down from a fight. He's not stupid, but he's not the smartest. So when you roll a partial success, roll a single d4 afterwards. If you roll evens, then add 1 point to progress. If odds are rolled, no progress is made, but 1 spite token is added. So let's see. I mean, for a Harangon, he is fairly pretty. You're right, Kayla. So I got a 2. I just read that. Where'd that go? Okay, so 1 point to progress. So he's like, you see, while I did die fighting, maybe it's just my time. Maybe it's time for me to put down my Morning Star and my bow and say goodbye. And we're gonna, let's see. Give me just a second. I gotta read some stuff. Interesting. Okay. I don't remember seeing. I may have just missed it because that's a thing that I do sometimes. I don't remember seeing how many points you have to get to, or if there's a certain number of spite points. Basically, that like end things. So let me check on that real quick. I don't think I saw it, but you know what? I have been known to miss things before. So give me just a second. Okay. Yeah, it talks about the success and failure bars. I don't have like a character sheet or anything. Maybe that's just something that I missed. I sure don't remember seeing it whenever I downloaded all this. So you know what? We're going to wing it because it does say earlier on that this is just a guide. Because it's a guide, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. So we've got 1 success on that. And we're just going to roll again. And I got another 3, so that's another partial success. So just kind of sitting down at the table and, sort of feeling the craftswork of his bow. He's starting to kind of feel torn, remembering all of the times that he's used it, both for good and not bad. He's not a bad guy. He doesn't do like wicked, evil things, but sometimes he does some morally questionable things, you know. It's just how it goes sometimes, but he's just sort of pondering back over it and remembering that he has done some really good things with this bow. And so we're going to roll our d4 again. Hey, and that time we got a 4. So a 4 is an absolute success. And yeah, so add 1 point to progress and remove 1 spy token, which I don't have any spy tokens. But I've got, I think, 3 successes. So I'm going to call that good. I'm going to say 3 is our number. We're going to move on to our next card, which is the 10 of diamonds. And let's see. So none of those, yeah, it's not a power card, but let's see. Diamonds, location, a place or setting. So we're going to go back down to our diamonds. And there we go. The 10. Ooh, okay. So the 10 of diamonds is a dark and scary place. So sort of in that dreamlike way, in dreams where you are in one place and then with no real connection, you're in another place, but there's no like clear way that you traveled there. There's no explanation, but it's also not weird. It's very natural. He just finds himself in this large room, several pillars sort of like at the entrance to this room, and inside he sees this shadowy thing floating about. In the larger area of the room, he's kind of on this side of these pillars, which he has a memory of. This is where he died, fighting this beholder that it shot him with one of its eye beams and took him out. So for him, this is a very scary place, and yeah, it's not as well lit as he remembers, and there is that shadowy creature on the other side of it. So I think for him, in order to sever this tether, he would have to truly accept that he is dead and there's nothing he can do about it. So let's see. Oh, okay. First roll, we got an absolute success. So I'm going to say, kind of thinking aloud, he's just like, well, a beholder is a very powerful creature, and although this was not a true beholder, it was seemingly undead itself. I can't say that I could have expected anything different. He just sort of remembers that he and his party, because again, this was a D&D game, there were 4, let me see, it was myself, Affy, Artemis, Cedar. Yeah, I think there were just the 4 of us, possibly. Unfortunately, Kayla wasn't able to be there, but yeah, the 4 of us, all level 4, fighting this undead beholder. It's a pretty powerful creature. Shut up, Kayla. I'm not calling you out. I'm just telling other people who might be watching now or in the future, kind of the whole background of it. This was our birthday bash. The DM Jeremy from Old Men Rolling Dice was running for us. Our ridiculously long marathon stream that was fantastic. Very sad that you couldn't be there, but maybe next year. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so he's thinking to himself about all of this, and yeah, with that absolute success, he's just like, there's nothing more that I could have done. I put everything on the line, and it just wasn't good enough. But that's okay. Sometimes you don't win. We're gonna roll one more. Ooh, because we didn't get a whole lot of points for that. It was an absolute success, so I feel like he's pretty close. But we got a 2, so it is a partial failure. The action fails, but nothing gets worse. Let's see. So again, it's odds or evens. Ooh, yikes. So it's a 2. If evens are rolled, no progress is made, but 1 spite token is added. And it does say spite tokens mark a point in the story where success is not won, and attachments to one's tether begin to corrupt the spirit. Ooh, okay. When a tether fails to break or is complicated, note how this corruption affects your character when earning a spite token. Interesting. Okay. So he was, and still is, his much younger, non-armored self. He's just he's doing the Winnie the Pooh. He's a little kid. He's just wearing his shirt with no pants because he's a heron gun. Why wear pants when you're a rabbit, dude? So this little version of Zoom starts to age, we'll say, back to more of his adult self, but he also the ends of his hands start to darken into this inky black shadow. And as he grows and becomes older, he just feels this anger growing inside of him very slowly. It's just 1 spite, so it's not like he's totally succumbing to the darkness or anything, but it's starting. Let's see. Okay, cool. So when we rolled our next attempt, we got another 4. So that is another absolute success. And I'm going to say with 2 absolute successes, even though I said earlier that 3 would be enough, I'm just going to call it good there, because you know what? It also removes 1 spite, so the it's probably going to have some feels. I don't know if it gave you the little whatever they call it. What is that? The go live notification. I did say we'll be tackling some fifis, so fair warning. So the blackness starts to recede, and he starts to return to his younger self. The aging seeming to reverse itself a little bit. Yeah, sorry, Kayla. That's how it goes sometimes. And so getting to possibly some fifis again, our next card is the Ace of Spades. Aces are... where did that go? Aces are power cards, so... and ace is also corrupt, so spite grows. Let's see. We're going to go back down to our spades. And so the Ace of Spades is a ring from a significant other. And I really don't have a whole lot of background that I've explored for Zoom, because I've really only ever used him as a one-shot character, as much as I love him. He's a lot of fun to play, but I just haven't thought that far about him. So let's see. I did have some name generators up because I thought this might be a possibility. So just looking at some names. Yeah. So finding himself once again back in his childhood home, the bow is no longer there. Doesn't really bother him that it's gone. It's just not there anymore. In its place, he sees two rings, and remembers back to a former love that it didn't work out. Just thinking back to this woman he knew when he was a younger Harengon, whose name was Trill, and thinking about how intense their feelings were and how they thought that they would be together forever. And well, we'll see how that played out, because I don't know. I haven't thought about that. This is a new thing to me. And that is a 1 on our attempt to break this tether. So let's see. A 1 is not good. So it's an absolute failure. So that is 1 failure and 1 spite token. Yeah. So the blackness begins to grow on him again as he's just remembering the hurt. Thanks, Kayla. I will definitely have fun being dead and sad. Probably going to have to call this pretty soon anyway, because I don't have a whole lot more time, but we'll see if we can play this out a little bit. Yeah, so it was 1 failure. Yeah, and he's just remembering the way that things ended and how hurtful that was, how tough things were for him. But our next one is a 3, so we've got a partial success. So we've got 1 success, 1 failure. Let's see if we made any progress. We don't. Oh, and we have another spite token. Yeah, so he is just kind of ruminating on this, and this inky darkness begins to spread further, and it's starting to feel a little bit overwhelming, as a lot of him, I wouldn't say more than half, is just like this void of darkness. And let's see, so yeah, that's 2 failures, no success. Well, yeah, no success. Let's see. Ooh, yikes. So our next one is another partial failure. So he's failing to sever this tether. This is a tough one for him. So we're going to do another d4 and see if we have, if we add failure or if we add spite. Okay, yikes. Yeah, that's an even, so that adds another spite. So he is just kind of feeling overwhelmed by this darkness. Yeah, just really takes him back to how tough of a time this was for him, and how it felt like just a black pit of pain. So let's see. We're gonna. Oh yeah, he's really not doing well here. And as he's like nearly overwhelmed with this, I would say maybe that's a good place for us to end for the day, because we rolled another failure. yeah, so he's starting to become overwhelmed by this, and I think that's a good place for us to call it. But we'll come back to this. We'll explore a little bit more. I will figure out better on the tracker, see if there's maybe a character sheet that I missed, and yeah, we'll be back to play a little bit more of this probably next week. So anyway, thanks for watching.